Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we have a follow-up, the much anticipated follow-up to the Pokemon Hot Takes video. I got all the hot takes from the last Hot Takes video, and I got them all here in one place, and I read all of them, and we're gonna cut to me reading them to you and talking about them, and it's gonna be a fun time. All right, let's see here. First up, we have Normal should be super effective against Fairy. The way to counter fairies in folklore is to not believe in them, and that's rooted in normalcy. Not to mention, I think Normal should get something going for it, and Fairy being a little nerf would be a healthy balance change. I think this is interesting, though Normal's whole shtick is kind of that it doesn't hit anything for super effective, and I don't know if it would be weird if it just all of a sudden hit something for super effective, though I think that your reasoning is sound, and I like your logic. I like where your head's at. YouTube dark mode is now cringe since AndyLaVGC uses light mode. Whatever you gotta believe, pal. Megas should get a balancing rework. More underused and non-legendary Pokemon should get them. Yes. Obviously, why? That feels like it should just be a thing already. Ice should resist water, even if it doesn't make sense thematically. It's something I thought that would help ice types. A small but useful change to nerf to the best type besides Fairy. Okay. I'm down for nerfing water. I think water is very good defensively, and obviously in like single battles it's kind of a problem, I think. Mono water types are like really good. But I think, this is more of a recent development. Ice is kind of really good right now. I don't know if that's just a thing that's going to be going on right now, or if that'll carry into, the next couple of generations. But Ice is like a pretty good type right now, and I don't know if it needs more buffs. But I'd be down for Ice to resist water, honestly. I don't think that'd be that big of a deal. What we need to make Fairy feel more fair is some abilities that negatively affect Fairy moves, like Mystic Channeling. It's a Fairy-type Storm Drain. That sounds cool. I like that. Shining Armor. Negative 50% damage from Fairy and Dragon-type moves, or Ghost instead if it's more like a Blessed Armor. Okay. Yeah, I think those are cool abilities. I mean, obviously, it's not like the ability existing that's going to nerf Fairy. It kind of depends on what the Pokemon that it's on, how good that Pokemon is, whether it like is effectively a nerf to Fairy or not. But I like where your head's at. We're thinking of creative things. We're getting the juices flowing. There needs to be a football helmet that either reduces recoil damage or makes the user become immune to it. This is a funny item. This is objectively a funny item, and Rockhead as an item sounds kind of hilarious. Moves with between 70 and 100% accuracy shouldn't exist. It just feels bad when you're counting on them and they miss randomly. At least moves that have less than 70% accuracy, you expect them to miss. They're more about gambling, like Hypnosis, Zap Cannon, etc. And when they miss, it's more like, oh, it's my fault for running a gamble move, instead of just feeling bad because your 90% accurate move has no better alternative. It just happened to miss. Look, I agree with where you're coming from, okay? But I have been bailed out enough times by my opponent missing a 90% accurate move that I feel like it's not right for me to agree with this take. You know what I'm saying? I've had my fair share of my opponent being bailed out. I've had my fair share of bailing out from stuff like this, and obviously it's annoying, but I don't think it's like game-breakingly annoying. Obviously, I think some moves have lower accuracy for like no reason. Like what's a good like Zen Headbutt shouldn't be 90% accurate because like literally like Iron Head and like a million other moves are all exactly Zen Headbutt and they have 100% accuracy. I don't know if I agree with this about every move, but I do think that they should probably raise the accuracy of a lot of moves just to make them not feel so bad to use. I get where you're coming from. All right, we got a couple here. Ready? Trick Room should be nerfed to 2 or 3 turns. I've lost too much to Trick Room teams. I disagree, actually. I think Trick Room is a fair amount of turns. I think, if anything, Tailwind needs a nerf. Extreme Speed, Thunderclap, and Sucker Punch should all be nerfed to 60 base power. D-Knight plus POW still kicks my ass on occasion. Man. I think after this generation, Extreme Speed is not going to be a problem anymore. And honestly, Sucker Punch isn't like... Okay, like, I think even if those moves were 60 base power, they would be just as good. Because we had Jet Punch Palafin when Palafin was good, and Jet Punch was just as annoying as all of these moves. I don't think this would fix the problem that you're trying to fix. And also, I don't know if it's still going to be a problem any generation after this one, because I don't know if we're going to have terrestrialization, and really, it's terrestrialization that's making Extreme Speed a problem. I think a consecutive hits has more crit chance mechanic could be fire for the game. So, for example, if you've never hit the Pokemon, it's 0. If you've hit it once, it's 1 out of 36. Twice, 1 out of 24. 3 times, 1 out of 16. And this is, I clarify, this is hits in the row on the same Pokemon. I think this is interesting. I think there's a lot of things that are kind of would be weird if we had this. Like, how does it work with like multi-hit moves? Like if you hit like a 5 times in a row move, does the last hit just like always crit? How does that work? And like, I don't know. I feel like the magic of crits, right? Besides moves that always crit, moves with like higher crit ratios, is that you don't know when they're gonna happen. And if you want to like raise your chances of getting a crit, you have to do that, like you have to build that into your team. And this is something we've actually seen a lot more this generation than other generations. Like Focus Energy has been a good move that people have been using. Like people are using Scope Lens as an item. And these are like not things that we've traditionally seen in VGC outside of like weird like Togekiss stuff. And I feel like if crits are like a little bit more predetermined, we kind of lose that magic, and that makes me kind of sad. But I understand where you're coming from. I don't necessarily disagree, but I don't know if I agree, if that makes sense. Covert Cloak and Clear Amulet should announce themselves like Air Balloon. I understand where you're coming from, but this would make Covert Cloak a bad item in best of one like closed team sheets. Covert Cloak would be a million times worse. Now, Clear Amulet, I could maybe see. I don't know. I just don't know how it would, because like it's called a Covert Cloak. Like the whole point of it is that you can't see it. Thematically, it's never gonna make sense if it announces itself. But I feel like the whole point of Covert Cloak is mostly for like best of one stuff, so you don't get like faked out because you know it's harder to play around. Like obviously you don't see it as often in open team sheets, and if it announced itself, you'd probably never see it. And I feel like that just makes it a garbage item, and it kind of defeats the whole purpose of the item. I'd ban PP raising in competitive. It slows the game down. It leads to drawn out stall garbage. Give those 5 PP moves way more weighty cost, offering some incentive to use lower power high PP moves. If they did this, they'd have to rebalance the PP of certain moves, like Recover. 20 uses is annoying. Also, Recycle would have to be single use or something. No fun bro stats allowed. While we're at it, make moves like Protect Technology, which have lower PP, like 3. That way they're high risk text options that you need to... Okay. Hot take. As somebody who very frequently forgets to PP up their their rental codes before they go use them. Most of the time, in VGC at least, I can't speak for singles. In singles, it would probably matter a lot. But most of the time in VGC, it doesn't matter that much. If you could not PP up your moves in VGC, I do not think it would matter that much. The games are not that long most of the time. Obviously, for singles, this would have much bigger ramifications, and I don't know if they would be good or bad. I guess stall is a problem, and this could be one way to make stall not a problem in singles. And you know what? That's creative problem solving, and I like where your head's at. Crit rates should be null unless you buff them with a specific move like Focus Energy, or a move that has a crit chance like Slash. But if you increase your speed stat by 2, then you have a normal 10% crit chance. But it's not buffed by like Tailwind. This makes sense because you're moving faster. You increase. This is almost how crit chance works in Gen 1. I believe that your chance to crit is based on how fast you are in Gen 1. And this is almost how crits work in Gen 1. I actually responded to this one, and Colossal gets a Steam Engine proc and then straight up just has a 30% chance to crit every attack. Super funny interaction that would happen if you implemented this mechanic. I don't hate crits the way that they are, at least not all the time. Like, obviously, sometimes you lose games to crits, and it happens. I don't know if I like this rework, because sometimes you play against those teams that you need to crit, and if you couldn't crit them, then what would you do? You would just cry. You would feel even more helpless. You have no chance. We would all be sitting here bitching and moaning about Moody Muck stuff even harder if we could not crit them. And that's my hot take, is that everybody hates on crits until you're playing against Moody Muck and you need to get the crit. And that's my hot take. Low accuracy moves should either have a bypass effect like Hurricane or Blizzard, or be a gimmick like Fisher. Focus Blast and Play Rough nonsense is just annoying. Makes me feel like I'm actually risking missing for a reason other than the only accessible moves being inaccurate. Okay. Play Rough. Play Rough should be 100% accurate. I don't care. Make it a little bit less strong. It should be 100% accurate. I'm annoyed about Play Rough too. Focus Blast is too strong to have 100% accuracy. In fact, it's like stronger than Hurricane and Blizzard, right? Like, Hurricane and Blizzard are 110, but they have the mechanics that can make them hit all the time. I'm pretty sure Focus Blast is 120, and that makes it stronger than Hurricane and Blizzard. It makes it a very common coverage move that you would use if it was 100% accurate, like, because imagine if you could just run Focus Blast for free on things. Maybe we should just give, like, Aura Sphere more distribution or something, but I specifically Focus Blast I don't agree with. I don't think Focus Blast should be 100% accurate. Maybe more accurate. Maybe it could be like 80% or something, but 100% is crazy. All of the evolutions get the equivalent of Pixelate for their type. Haven't thought it through fully, but in paper it seems cool. It does seem cool on paper. I can't think of anything immediately we busted. Maybe Jolteon. Jolteon would get a huge boon from that, because, like, it could just click. I mean, just because it's fast. I don't know. I don't really know what normal. I guess Last Resort becomes like a decent move on a lot of the EVs, because you could just literally run Protect Last Resort, a Flareon, and that would be fine, I guess. I don't know. I guess it'd be pretty decent. Like I said, I'd have to look at all their movesets to look at the normal type moves they learn. I guess they mostly all learn like the same normal type moves. So you'd have like Hyper Voice, Glaceon, Hyper Voice, Vaporeon, etc., which would be neat. But then you lose some of the other abilities they have to make them useful, like I don't know, I guess it would make most of them just better. But then you lose Chlorophyll on like Leafeon, and that would be not as good. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this one, but it sounds cool. Hyper Beam and its clones should go back to Gen 1 mechanics, no recharge if it kills. The ultimate risk reward. Game Freak should create more normal type Pokemon for base I'm guessing base stats that are 541 and 569, and not make them too min-maxed or overtuned. Ice and Water should resist each other. The stronger special moves that got nerfed in Gen 6 should go back to their original 120 base power, with Hydro Pump getting an additional 5% accuracy. Leave the weaker special moves the way they are now. There should be a VGC format with no legendaries, mythicals, paradoxes, ultra beasts, or gimmicks. Okay, I think I'd be okay with this Hyper Beam thing, but I don't know. It could be too good. At least in VGC, I think it would be too good. On some Pokemon, it might be like kind of too busted. I don't know if I'm here for that, but it's a neat idea. Let's see, normal Pokemon that are not too min-maxed or overtuned. I guess I don't really have like strong feelings about this one. If you want more normal type Pokemon, I'm down for that. You know what? Like you can have it. Ice and water should resist each other. Water already resists ice, actually. So yeah, sure. We already kind of talked about this. The stronger special moves that got nerfed should go back to 120. I guess. I mean, do I agree with this? I don't know. I don't think they would be busted if they went back to 120, honestly. Kind of takes away my whole Focus Blast argument from earlier, but... Do I think Hydro Pump needs an extra 5% accuracy? No, it's not less accurate than the other ones. Just leave it the way it is. Yeah, they can go back to 120. They can stay at 110. I mean, it's kind of whatever. I don't know if Hydro Pump actually needs more accuracy. I think we should probably just get more water moves that like cover what Hydro Pump is doing right now. And then the last one, I agree, disagree. I mean, look, if you want a VGC type format, no legendaries, mythicals, paradox, ultra beasts, or gimmicks, just make it. Like, obviously, we could all sit around here and like hope and pray that Game Freak or the Pokemon Company or whoever creates the formats gives us the magical format that we want, right? Or you could just make it. Like, I don't know how hard it is to like make a format for Showdown or whatever, but you could. I'm sure it's doable. I'm sure it can be done. If that's what you want, do it. Make it. Do it. Lapras should get Liquid Voice and Refrigerate. Sure. Yeah, sounds great to me. Grafaiai should get Sketch as an egg move. No. I do not want Grafaiai to have any move in the game. That sounds awful. It has Prankster. Feraligatr should get Strongjaw as well as Jaw Lock. Yeah, I kind of like... Man. Okay, I would like this if it didn't come at the cost of losing Sheer Force, because I think that Sheer Force is kind of like a legit ability on Feraligatr. I don't want Strongjaw instead of Sheer Force, because in essence they almost do the same thing, because most of the bite attacks have additional effects, which means that Sheer Force is already boosting those attacks. Meganium should get Poison Powder. Didn't even know it didn't learn it. Sure. Jolteon and Ampharos should get Galvanized. Yeah, okay, kind of ties into the evolution thing. Ampharos buffs? I'm here for Ampharos buffs. Let's do it. Glaceon should get Refrigerate. Yeah, sure. Why not? Bring Ice Ball back. I don't even remember what Ice Ball does, to be honest with you, but yeah, sure. Jinx needs a Mega Evolution in Z to A. I don't know if I agree with that. Jinx is kind of scary, and I don't want to know how scary Mega Jinx would look. Bug types should be immune to fairy types. That might be too much. Doubles is greater than singles. Personally, I prefer doubles to singles. But for people who like singles, that is also their right to have that opinion. I neither agree nor disagree. Ground should resist fire. No, I don't think more things need to resist fire. Too many things resist fire already. Every move should get a special or physical counterpart. I don't know about every move, but I think we should have more moves. More moves is good, but I don't know if I think every move should be like this. Thanks for watching, everybody. If you enjoyed this video, remember to leave me a big, fat like, leave me a comment, tell me what you want to see in the future. Leave your hot takes here. If we get enough hot takes on this video, I will make a hot takes part 3. And then we will have 3 of these wonderful videos of me reading your fantastic, amazing hot takes. Hopefully, I hope to see you there. Let's try to get this video to 100 likes. It's not going to happen. I don't think I've ever gotten that many likes on a video, but let's get this one to 100 likes. I'm watching, all right? I'm hoping, I'm praying. Subscribe. Once upon a time, man, I heard that I was struggling. Came from a gen where power creep wasn't coming in. Face long, stats tight, defense up, shack height. Sturdy on me, sash like, got the TM last night. Hit me with that good move, make this mount act right. Bast boys, better hit that builder. I know that's right. Big Bast busting out these body presses, bout to buy a body bag and